How's it going, guys? Are you ready for some fantastic Pokemon battling action? Because today we have some brilliant battles lined up that you're sure to enjoy. Get ready to witness two of some of the most exciting battles ever in the underused tier and see why Iron Crown is easily the best Pokemon of the Psychic Terrain. Trainers, if you enjoy the adrenaline-fueled battles and want more heart-pounding action, don't forget to smash that like button and hit subscribe to join us on our journey to 20k subscribers. Your support means the world to me, so let's keep the excitement going. Anyway, with all that being said, let's jump straight into the first battle. And the first battle is here. We're going against Yale from the Discord server in the UU tier, underused. The new for me because I'm used to OU. So looking at that team, they got a Mamoswine, Skeledirge, Alolan Ninetales, Latios, a Electrode, Hisui, and a Bastion. It's crazy to think Skeledirge and Latios and Mamoswine aren't even OU. Like, I know why they're not OU. Like, I'm not an idiot, but like, it's just crazy to think that they were like OU staples at one point in their lives. So anyway, let's lead off with Indeedee, I think, to get the Psychic Terrain straight up. They may lead off with Ninetales to get that Aurora Veil up straight away, so I'm actually half tempted to lead off with the Arcanine and just straight away and just go for a Flare Blitz, because nothing on that team really wants to take a hit from this thing. So I think that is what I'm going to do. They may lead off with the Electrode as well. That's always a possibility. If they do, we'll just straight into a Virizion and deal with it that way. And the battle begins. Good luck, have fun, Yale. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Anyway, Electrode is their lead. We lead off with Commingu the Arcanine. We could very well get KO'd by a Choice Specs Light Leaf Storm here. We know they outspeed us. That's not even a doubt there. So I'm going to go into Virizion. Wait, yeah, I'm going to go into Virizion. Virizin's a good switch. There we go. We're going to withdraw our Arcanine, and we're going to go into our Virizion. I would have gone into Goodra, but Goodra just opens up a free switch for Ninetales, really. Whereas now they've gone for a Thunderbolt and bounced right off us pretty much. And we can safely go for a Swords Dance if we want to, or a Close Combat. However, we know exactly what's going to happen here. They're going to Volt Switch or switch into Skeledirge, so there's no point not going for a damaging move right now. I guess I should go for a Leaf Blade just so we can get some damage off on the Skeledirge. Or is Close Combat a bit better? I think Close Combat's a bit better, so that's what I'm going to do. Right, so they hard switch, they don't Volt Switch, telling me they may be Choice Specs. And in comes Elsa, the Ninetales. Nice, so we get some free Close Combat damage off on the Ninetales, which is great. It's not going to do too much because of the snow boosting its defense, but you know, it's damage nonetheless. As there we go, damage comes through. Nicely done by our Virizion. So, what can we do now? The thing is, they can get the Aurora Veil up for free right now. We've got no way of getting rid of the snow. So, I think maybe the best thing to do is go into Mandibuzz or back into the Arcanine. I'm leaning towards the Arcanine switch, to be honest with you, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. We resist their both stabs, so we can definitely take a hit from this thing. And Head Smash from a Choice Band Arcanine is still going to KO this Ninetales through the Aurora Veil. So it's kind of a matter of what are they going to bring in right now. So if I was them, I'd bring the Bastion in. It's the only thing that wants to take a Head Smash to the face. But I don't really know what kind of playstyle my opponent's going to use against my team, so I don't know whether they're going to, you know. I think I'd go straight for a Head Smash. They do withdraw. Are they going to go Bastion? Because Bastion can get taken out by Close Combat here. Electrode comes in. Interesting. So, provided we hit the Head Smash, this should KO. As we miss. That's unfortunate. So, we know their Choice Specs. I think we go into Goodra here. I think Virizion can't take too much damage. Virizion could do pretty well here. You know, it takes out the Mamoswine with Leaf Blade potentially. It also takes out the Bastion with Close Combat, but that's about it, really, this battle. So let's see how this plays out. They go for a Volt Switch, expecting the switch. Fair enough. It's going to bounce right off my Goodra. And this gives them an opportunity to go into their Mamoswine if they want to. I'm assuming that is what they're going to do. In comes the Mamoswine. So yeah, Mamoswine is the switch that they've chosen. Makes sense. We do not have the best switch-ins to Mamoswine. I will be honest with you. So if we assume they're going to expect either an Arcanine switch or an Iron Crown switch to take an Ice-type move, they probably go for an Earthquake, right? So we should go into Mandibuzz. I'm leaning towards Mandibuzz. If they do go for their Ice-type move, then fair enough. But it's pretty obvious what we're going to do. We're going to go to Arcanine or Iron Crown. They do go for an Icicle Spear. They play it safe, and they're going to be able to pull off, I'm assuming the load of dice. They're going to be able to pull off some serious damage on my Mandibles, as they are going to hit 4 times, 5 times, which is really unfortunate. So unfortunate, in fact. The snow is going to stop, which means they haven't got a defense boost, which is nice. I don't have a good switch into Mamoswine, so I'm going to go for a defog just in case they miss or whatever, but they do go for an Icicle Spear. I don't think Icicle Spear can miss anyway. But anyway, Mandibles goes down. Defogging the way the screens is not an option anymore. I really thought they would go for an Earthquake, expecting like an Arcanine or an Iron Crown switch, because I thought they were pretty obvious. But it's obviously not the case. So what do we do here? I'm leaning towards Virizian's Close Combat. I'm also leaning towards Arcanine's Flare Blitz. Let's bring in Arcanine this time. We need to get some damage off on something, so I'm hoping we see a Latios switch here. Because the more damage you can get on Latios, the better, because Booster Energy Iron Crown absolutely demolishes their team in Psychic Terrain. We have the Focus Blast for the Bastiodon, etc. We just need to get some damage off on the Latios, because it's the only thing really stopping us from doing it, and Skeledirge as well. So, I'm going to go for a Flare Blitz anyway. I know they've got Thick Fat, but I really feel like they switch out as they do. So they do switch out. They go into Electrode once again. Are they sacking this thing off? I mean, fair enough. I go for a Flare Blitz. That's going to definitely take out the Electrode even under Aurora Veil because we're Choice Banded. And we don't take a single drop of recoil thanks to the Iron Head ability. It's amazing. Such a brilliant combination. Head Smash and Flare Blitz plus Rock Head. Amazing. Skeledirge comes in. They know we're banded. Nice and shiny as well. Look at that. It's the Grim Reaper here to see us. Anyway. I say Goodra's probably our best bet. I think. I think I will go Goodra. And then I'll go hard back into Arcanine. I don't care if you think this is too much switching. Anti-switches. But listen. This is how we play the game. Got to get used to it. So they go for a Will-O-Wisp on the switch. That's fine. Goodra doesn't care too much about Will-O-Wisp. They kind of knew we were going to switch out there as well, which makes a lot of sense. So we could drop a Draco here, but this literally just invites in the Ninetales, really. So I'm going to go back into the Arcanine now. Because they're either going to go for a Hex, which I doubt they will because it won't do much damage to my Goodra, or they're going to go back into Ninetales. So we withdraw Slime Ball once again. We're making a double switch. And we're going to go into our Arcanine once again so we can change up moves because we're Choice Banded. For anyone who didn't realize what we were doing. So they do go for a Hex, which is going to do a little bit of damage to Arcanine. Not too much. The Aurora Veil is going to wear off at the perfect point. As now all we need to do is tap that Head Smash and hope we don't miss. Head Smash comes through. They stay in. And Skeledirge goes down. It just could not take the heat from the Head Smash. No chances at all. So now that thing's out of the way. Iron Crown's actually looking pretty good. Bastiodon comes in though. This thing's probably going to have Body Press on it, which is going to sting my Arcanine just a wee bit. So I'm going to go into Virizion real quick, because then we can just close combat this thing. And all Virizion needs to do this battle is to hurt the Bastiodon a little bit, so that we can break that sturdy. That's all it really needs to do. It also invites in the Latios, which is great. So they go for a Stealth Rock. Stealth Rocks are going to be a bit of a hindrance to my Arcanine, thanks to the weakness to it. But we should be alright. Like I said, all we need Virizion to do here is to weaken this thing. Pretty much all we need from it. So we are Terra Fairy. Could Swords Dance in its face. It's always an option. They're going to Terra. So they're going to Terra. What type are they going to Terra into real quick? So probably a Ghost, right? So they're going to Terra into a Fairy type. So that's interesting. As I also did the exact same thing. I transformed into a Fairy type. They've done this obviously to be resistant to the Fighting type move that I was potentially going to spam in the face. But I go for a Swords Dance, raising my attack sharply. And I think that's the right play as they go for an Iron Defense, which is now very terrifying. Very, very terrifying. So, okay, we've got a problem here. I'm going to withdraw my Iron Leaves now because if they didn't Terra Fairy and they didn't Iron Defense there, then I would have been alright. But because we've done all that, we're going to have to change our plan a little bit. Virizion, it looked like it could do some work there with Terra Fairy, but unfortunately it's not. as we're going to sack off our Gudra now to a body press, as it's going to drop the speed at least, but no, doesn't matter. What we needed was a free switch in on this thing. So what we need to do is we need to weaken it first. So we're going to bring in DD in, because this Bastion just turned into a threat, I'm afraid. So we'll bring in DD in, like so. Psychic Surge gets up, which is great. Stops any priority moves as well from the likes of the Mamoswine with the Ice Shard, potentially. Not that it matters. We go for an Expanding Force here just to get as much damage off on the Bastion as possible. Expanding Force comes through. They should take us out with a body press here, because that Expanding Force does a lot of damage. They go for an Iron Head. I would have gone for the body press personally, because that would have done a bit more damage. But it is what it is at the end of the day. Body press should have done a lot more damage actually, because we're part normal. But let's go for Expanding Force again. Get as much damage as possible on this Bastion is what I want. So there we go. Expanding Force comes through. More damage. Iron Head again. Takes us out at least with another critical hit. 2 crits in a row. Don't know whether they mattered or not, but you know, I'm sure the first one did. I think if they were both not crits, we would have lived. But it doesn't matter, because all we need to do now, hopefully, I'm really hoping this time, is go into our Iron Crown. Now, Regalio is going to come in. Regal.io. Regal.io. We're going to get that booster energy and speed. Stones do dig in, which is unfortunate. And then we can kind of hopefully go from here. So our speed is going to be heightened, which is great. We just go for a Tachyon Cutter. And hopefully this is enough to win us the game, as they do withdraw the Bastiodon. And they go into Latios. So that's an interesting choice, because I'm pretty sure this thing gets 2-shot by Tachyon Cutter. It might. It doesn't. But I'm pretty confident we can take a hit from this Latios. So I'm going to go for another Tachyon Cutter. I don't see any reason not to. Tachyon Cutter comes through. If we get a high roll. Nah, no high rolls. No high rolls for us. So, they go for a flip turn now to get some damage off. I'm pretty sure they don't know what to do against this Iron Crown right now, as Iron Crown is putting the pressure on, because now Mamoswine gets 2-shotted. Ninetales easily gets 2-shotted. And Latios is on Death's Door. Bastion's on Death's Door. I think we've got this with Iron Crown. Elsa comes in, which is the Ninetales, obviously. So, they can't Terra because they've already Terra'd with the Bastiodon. So, we don't have to worry about anything like that. We know for a fact this Tachyon Cutter is going to come through for us. We also know for a fact we outspeed unless they're choice scarfed. Tachyon Cutter comes through, takes out the Alola Ninetales just like that, which is fantastic. So we managed to get ourselves into a pretty good position with Iron Crown, which I'm really glad for, because Iron Crown is one of the Pokemon I wanted to get the, you know, to get the thumbnail for the battle type thing. So Mamoswine comes in. Now Mamoswine, on the other hand, might live one Tachyon Cutter. So let's see how that plays out, shall we? Tachyon Cutter comes through. No, it's definitely a one-hit KO, or a 2-hit KO, technically. So Mamoswine goes down, which is fantastic. And now all we have to worry about is the Latios. But that was a really fun game, to be honest with you. I'm pretty sure we outspeed the Latios. I mean, I know for a fact we outspeed the Latios because we've already outsped it. So Bastion comes in once again. And at this point, it's just letting them go down as Tachyon Cutter comes through. Tachyon Cutter comes through. Down goes Bastiodon. We're basically just slashing up this team real quick, and no problems there, which is fantastic. Latios comes back in, but unfortunately, it is to no avail, as we can go for an Expanding Force right now and just take it out with that. So down goes the Latios, and that is going to be the end of the first game. GG Yale. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong again. Yale? See? Yale? I don't know. I'm sorry. And the second battle is here. We're going against Raymond from the Discord server in the UU tier once again. Looking at the team, Scizor, Azumarill, Zapdos, Indeedee Male, Galarian Weezing, and a Garchomp. Pretty cool stuff. If they assume we're going to lead with Indeedee, they may lead off with Scizor. Scizor could be a good lead. I'm just looking at Arcanine and I'm thinking, what's their switching to Head Smash other than Garchomp? If we get that Garchomp out of the way, we get a free Head Smash every single time. That could be really useful. So, what do we do? That's the real question. I'm leaning towards the Mandibus lead. I think they lead with Indeedee, but we can also get a knockoff on whatever they lead off with. So as long as they don't lead with Azumarill, we should be fine. And then we'll just kind of go from there. And the battle begins. Good luck, have fun, Raymond. So they're going to lead off with Kakar, the Zapdos. as we lead off with our mandibles. So 2 birds right off the bat. Good luck, have fun, Raymond. I don't know if I already said that, actually. Did I already say that? Probably. Let's go into Goodra. Goodra is pretty much our best Pokemon switching to Zapdos, to be honest with you. So we withdraw our mandibles real quick, and we're going to go straight into Goodra, and this should bait in the Azumarill, which you may be thinking, why would you want a Azumarill in on your Goodra? Well, there's a good reason for that. I'm going to drop a Draco right now, and it's going to do some damage to something. They may go into Galarian Weezing, or they go into Azumarill, one of the two. If they go into Azumarill, then we can Terra Poison, Sludge Bomb them. If they go into Galarian Weezing, then we just simply switch out. Let's drop a Draco real quick and find out. They go for their Volt Switch, which tells me they don't have Roost because they have Discharge as well. And usually you see Discharge paired with Heat Wave and Hurricane, so I'm going to assume they don't have Roost. And what are they going to bring in? They could bring in Scizor, to be fair. That will actually make us lower our special attack, but I'm pretty sure the Fire Blast will still KO. Beats Paper. That's Scizor, nice and shiny as well. Gotta love it. We do go for the Draco Meteor, and that is going to do a solid amount of HP to the Scizor, which is great and all. But they're probably going to expect us to switch out now into the Mandibles or something along those lines. So they more than likely go for a either a U-turn or they go for a BP. I think I'm going to go for a Fire Blast. No, I don't want my Goodra to take unnecessary damage. It could be really useful later on down the line. I think I will just hard switch into Mandibles. It is physically defensive after all, so we may as well do it. So in comes the Mandibles. If they go for a U-turn back into Zapdos here, then so be it as well. It'll be fine. They go for a close combat though, which is going to lower their defenses. It doesn't do too much damage to my Mandibles, at least, which is great. And we get a free knockoff now on whatever we want. So I'm going to go for the knockoff. If I can knock off this thing's Choice Band or whatever it's got, then we'll be good. They're going to withdraw the Scizor though. What are they going to go into? Azumarill? James. Who's James? The Galarian Weezing. Okay, that makes sense. James. So they got the neutralizing gas, which is interesting. So let's see how that plays out for them. We're going to knock off their item, and we have a Black Sludge, which is fair enough. Now we're going to go ahead and go for a U-turn just to get on out of there. We should be outspeeding the Galarian Weezing. They do withdraw. They may not be expecting a U-turn here, which is interesting. So they're going to go ahead and switch into what? Their Kakor, the Zapdos. That's a good switch normally. And we go for a U-turn. They may get static on us, which is unfortunate if they do. But they don't, which is great. Which means we now outspeed the Weezing still. So we can go into whatever we want now if the Zapdos is here. So Scizor probably wouldn't be there switching. I'm going to try the tech again with Goodra. So I'm going to go into Goodra real quick. I'm going to let Goodra drop a Draco. And I'm hoping for the best here. I'm really hoping for the best here. Well, Goodra is our perfect Pokemon switching to Zapdos, that's for sure. So let's go for the Draco real quick. And if they bring in something else like the Galarian Weezing, then so be it. We'll just use something else. If they bring in the Azumarill, we Terra Poison, Sludge Bomb, because that thing is a threat. Pika Blue comes in. That has got to be the Azumarill, right? Yes, it is. We drop a Draco, and obviously it's immune. They can't bring the Scizor in again on another Draco because they're losing too much health. So now I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to take out this Azumarill unless it's Assault Vest. If it's Assault Vest, then it'll live, but it'll still be severely damaged. So let's try it anyway. Maybe it's a bit premature to Terra here, but I really think Goodra can shine in this game. I really think Goodra can shine in this game. As they go ahead and stay in. And we outspeed. We go for a Sludge Bomb. And it is probably Assault Vest. Play Rough is going to miss, which isn't going to matter too much. As now we can assume they're going to switch out into the Scizor. So we should go for a Fire Blast. I think I can afford to do that. They do withdraw the Azumarill. Amazing. Please show me a Scizor right now. Beats Paper comes in. We make the right read. I'm so happy because Raymond normally whoops my ass. And I've finally made a good play against him. As the Scizor is going to go down to a Fire Blast, which is fantastic. So we made the right play for a change. And Scizor, being a big threat to our team, has gone down, which is amazing. The Azumarill's at half health. Goodra is shining this game. It's shining like a star. As May the 4th comes in. May the... Right, okay. That's going to be the Indeedee. Now, I know what they're thinking. Expanding Force, yada, yada, yada. In the Psychic Surge. Psychic Terrain. And I should switch out here into my Mandibles. But I feel like they go for a Dazzling Gleam here. But at the same time, I do want to keep my my Gudra around. So I am going to go into Mandibles regardless of the fact they could predict this switch and go for a Dazzling Gleam. But I think it's likely they go for an Expanding Force so they don't have to get a Draco Meteor dropped on their head. As they go for a Trick. So that's interesting. So Trick indeed is an interesting one. Let's see how this plays out for them, as they're going to trick us a Choice Scarf. And they get a pair of Heavy Duty Boots, which is fine by me. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to go for a U-turn here. As we outspeed them because of the Choice Scarf. Get some damage off on them. And then I'm assuming they're not going to go for an Expanding Force on the Mandibles, because we could have gone for a knockoff there. Assuming they're not going to do that, they'll probably go for a Dazzling Gleam, right? So if that's the case, then I should go into Arcanine, but then they can just switch up their moves the next turn. So I should go into Iron Crown, right? Iron Crown does pretty well against their team with Psychic Terrain up as well. I'd say Iron Crown's a good shout. I'm going to bring in Iron Crown. I think it is a good shout, to be honest with you. As there we go, we're going to pop our Booster Energy to get that speed boost, which is always wonderful. And we can take a Dazzling Gleam from this thing if they go for it, or an Expanding Force. They go for a Dazzling Gleam though. Definitely bounces right off us. And then we can just go for a Tachyon Cutter on this thing to save the day. As Tachyon Cutter comes through, that's going to cleanly take out the Indeedee, which is fantastic. As down it goes. Down it goes. In comes Kakar, the Zapdos. I don't see any reason not to go for an Expanding Force. So I am going to go for an Expanding Force. We still have our Indeedee in the back to take care of the Galarian Weezing if this goes wrong. But that does some solid damage as they go for a Discharge, which could paralyze us. No paralysis though. No hacks. No hacks. That's great. No hacks is always nice. As we go for another Expanding Force, there's no reason not to. Expanding Force comes through. And Iron Crown once again proves why it is a force to be reckoned with under the Psychic Terrain. So Zapdos goes down, which is fantastic for us. In comes Gaburius, which is going to be the Garchomp. Nice and shiny as well, gotta love it. So, this is where Iron Crown's reign ends. We should go into Mandibles here, but I kind of don't want them to set up on me. I don't want them to set up a Swords Dance or anything like that. So I am going to stay in. Like I said, we've got the Indeedee in the back for the Weezing if we need to. So I'm going to stay in and go for the Expanding Force. And maybe Tachyon Cutter would have been better there, actually, because I forgot Psychic Terrain had gone. But it doesn't matter. They go for a Scale Shot, though, which is unfortunately going to do a lot of damage to us. And it's going to give them a nice boosty boost. So that is unfortunate. It's not going to KO us, even if they hit all 5 times, which it looks like they are going to hit 4 times. It's not going to KO us. But it's now faster than my entire team, which is a problem. So let's go for a Tachyon Cutter here, just in case they go for a Swords Dance. They go for an EQ though, obviously. That's going to take out Iron Crown. They could still pull this back with Garchomp. Now I've got to think in my head, what's the right Pokemon to bring in here? Mandibles can probably take a Stone Edge from this thing. It's got no attack boost, and we can go for a knockoff, severely weakening that Scale Shot. I think that is the right play. And then we can go Arcanine and Extreme Speed it. Because Extreme Speed won't KO from here. But if we can knock off, then we'll be golden. So they go for a Swords Dance now. Oh dear. So that's terrifying. That is terrifying. We go for a knockoff to get rid of that loaded dice. Rough Skin's going to affect us a little bit. But now they have to attack us because knockoff KOs in the next turn, I think. As they go for a Scale Shot. No more loaded dice is going to make this severely weaker. They may only hit 2 times for all we know. As they do only hit 2 times, in typical fashion for any multi-hit move without loaded dice, it usually hits twice, I've noticed. And it's always the worst as well. Like, it's always like, you literally, all you needed was 3 hits to get the KO, and it only hits twice. It's always the worst. Peekaboo comes in though. Now, we know we outspeed here. And we can definitely go for a knockoff here. No problem. They go for an Aqua Jet to finish us off, though. So no knockoffs coming through. It's good to know they have Aqua Jet, though. As now, I'm leaning towards Indeedee, to be honest with you. I think that's all we need to win Indeedee, because we outspeed this thing. So we'll bring the Butler in. We'll get a Psychic Surge up. Like so. Indeedee should be able to pull this back for us. Expanding Force should KO from here. They Terra. Ooh. Interesting. What are they going to Terra into, though? That's the real question. Is it going to be Terra Steel or something? Stellar Terra. Interesting. So, Stellar Terra is a very interesting move, which means that they go for... how's this going to work? I don't understand what Stellar Terra does. It doesn't do anything. So, as the Peek Blue goes down... No, I'm not saying it doesn't do anything. I don't understand Stellar Terra. Like, what was the benefit for Azumarill to use it? Because I know Terra Blast makes you lose your attack and special attack. But I wasn't sure what the appeal was for Terra Stellar on the Azumarill there. Like, why would Azumarill run Terra Stellar? That's what I'm trying to figure out. If anyone knows, let me know in the comment section. I'm sure Raymond knows, hence why he built this team. So I have no idea, though. We go for another Expanding Force, though. That's going to definitely take out that Galarian Weezing, I think. As down it goes, and that's going to be the game. So GG Raymond, that was a pretty fun one. Definitely got two good examples of why Iron Crown is so powerful under the Psychic Terrain. That is for sure. So thank you both, Yale and Raymond, for the battles. I really appreciate it. But anyway, here is the team. Try it out if you want to. Use the code at the top right corner of the screen. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy, of course, leave a like, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. And with that being said, I'll see you all in a bit.